Let's have a fan episode right here on Spurs in Focus, going over the Blazers series, Wemby's injury, and so much more. Happy Friday and happy Spurs Day. Welcome back to Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts. The list goes on and on, even YouTube Music. Yeah. No excuse for you to not subscribe to Spurs in Focus. Completely free, and it should be your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Yeah, your first listen as often as you can, which is pretty much every day. So do that every day. Don't forget the Substack, Spurs in Focus Substack, completely free. As a matter of fact, our guest is going to pay for the first 100 subscribers on Spurs in Focus. Yeah, you hit subscribe on that Substack page, the bill goes directly to him. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm going to drop the news to him in just a few seconds. My name is Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer in San Antonio. Hey, you know what we haven't done here? We haven't had a fan episode. Yeah, we haven't invited a fan. We can get basically the pulse of the fan base. Yeah, this individual is going to represent the entire fan base on several topics, from the Spurs Blazers series, Wemby's injury, our fans already jumping off the ledge, so much more. We're going to get into it right now. I was going to bring him on. He's a familiar face. You've been following me over the years. Look who's back, everybody. Mr. Sith Elias, as he's affectionately known on X. Sith, welcome back, buddy.
Hey, thanks for having me, bro. Been looking forward to making my comeback. Last show, I was labeled the biggest Spurs hater on your pod, so I'm ready for my redemption. This is my redemption arc, brother.
Okay, we're gonna be talking about Fox and a redemption game in just a few minutes. Hey, everybody, you see him on your screen? Yeah, you see his handle at @LSith_V2. Go subscribe to his X handle right now. Just so fair warning though, he tends to stir the pot. Just
a lot.
a lot. So if you're a sensitive Spurs fan, maybe you don't want to follow. No, follow him anyway. Give him a follow. You'll definitely enjoy the banter. And what I like about Sith, he keeps it cool with fans.
Yeah, man. I play both sides of the ball, but I keep it 100. If I'm all for your take, I'll go ahead and support you. Doesn't matter which fandom you're a part of. There's a reason I'm nicknamed the Insistigator too. So like Jeff said, if you're not as confident in yourself, or as if you're too sensitive, don't hit me with that follow. Or if you do so, just follow me from afar, please.
There you go. Yeah. Watch from a distance. But Sith, he's a veteran at these type of episodes. But if you're new, let me tell you how it works. So you see that gentleman right there? Yeah. He's going to be giving us his personal takes on several Spurs topics, and then give us kind of the overall pulse of the fan base on the same topic. So, for example, if it's about, we use Tim Duncan, he'll give us his personal thoughts and then give us what fans think about Tim Duncan. Easy. Yeah, here we go. So, Sith, you're here because there's been a lot of stuff happening right now in the Spurs Blazers series, tied at 1-1, going back to Portland. Spurs lost home court advantage. Blazers are riding high right now. Picked up a win without Wemby, more on him in just a bit. So there's a lot going on for today's game. So that's why you're here. Let's start it off here. What was the fan reaction? And then we'll get to your reaction when the news is kind of coming out that Wemby may not play for tonight and possibly even game 4.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of the fans reward the Trailblazers with this series already. Already, they said if there's no Wembanyama return, then just pack your bags and stay in San Antonio or head back to San Antonio. Yeah, whatever the case is. They said Trailblazers are unstoppable. If Wembanyama aren't on there, we don't have a decent big. Wow. We don't have a decent big to match up against them. Who's gonna lead for us offensively? Granted that Wembanyama barely hit a stretch of over 20 something plus points his last 3 games, so he hasn't necessarily been our main offensive focus either. But these new fans, they just kind of saw Wemby go down and they jumped ship. A lot of them, like I said, they're a bunch of stat watchers and highlight reel watchers, Jeff. They don't really get that it's a team sport and not just based on one player.
You see, I told you he instigates things. See, don't say we didn't warn you, everybody. But here's the thing, though. I get it. Wemby pretty much, as they say, the team goes as Wemby goes. I understand that. But Sith, and get your thoughts as well as the fan base's collective thoughts here. The Spurs prove they can win without Wemby the regular season. Is it changed because now they have to prove they can win without him possibly in the postseason where the level is up a notch?
No, honestly, I don't think it makes much of a difference. Like I said, they're capable of getting the win with or without him. This last loss, Jeff, had nothing to do with Wembanyama being hurt or being out of the game. It was a lack of fundamentals. You can't win a game while missing all those free throws, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And they were very uncharacteristic of them. What they were crying after every non-foul call, bro. That's not the Spurs way. But other than that, Wemby didn't have any part to do with that. It was just a lack of fundamentals that cost us that game, and I'll stand by that.
Let's remember the Spurs were up 14 points in that fourth quarter, and then they went away just like that. Blazers went on a 27-10 run, and here we are, tied at 1-1 with Portland tonight. But this I saw on social media as well, and I saw you chime in as well. A lot of fans were already jumping off the ledge. You addressed it right now. Like, oh my gosh, series is over. What are we doing? It's Luke Cornett, and that's all we got. Are fans kind of wondering why Mitch isn't using other bigs they have on that roster? Olynyk, Bismack, and they got a beast out there named Plumlee. Kind of makes sense, but Mitch Johnson goes to Carter Bryant, an undersized big.
Well, we got to think about the way the game's laid out nowadays, right? Small ball gets you a long way. Carter Bryant is that pit bull. For what he lacks in size, his aggressiveness makes up for it. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I'd rather play Carter Bryant because he also has quite a bit of an offensive bag to him, too. We're not going to get that out of Mason Plumlee, no disrespect. Bismack Biyombo, he's good for trash minutes. Kelly Olynyk, he's our new tall waiver since we got rid of he who should not be named. So, yeah, I've seen the fandom kind of bug out that we signed all these bigs and they're not getting minutes. But, if you're not contributing on both ends of the floor, then you're a liability, especially for our first run in the playoffs in 7 years. You can't have anyone out there that's going to be liable. Luke Cornett has stepped up to the plate and
big time.
They're going to overwork our dude, but it's going to be worth it when Wemby's back and,
Yeah, rocking and rolling. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The latest news via Sharania ESPN is that Wemby will travel to Portland for Game 3. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to play, but at least that's a good sign that maybe it could be just missing one game, possibly playing in Game 4. We shall see. Sith, what about your personal opinions on just the series so far? What do you like? Obviously, you didn't like the loss and Wemby being out, but you still confident even though Game 3 is tonight in Portland?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's nothing I haven't seen prior, right? We remember the battles against Kobe and the Lakers, the Phoenix Suns, Zebo and the Memphis Grizzlies giving us the work. This isn't anything we haven't seen before, guys. We've come back from even being down 2-2 in a series and winning the series out. So, as a Spurs veteran, I guess I can say I've earned my stripes watching them. It's nothing to jump ship about yet. Even if they get up over a game 2-1, it's a 4-game series. First 1 to 4, 2 isn't exactly 4. Simple math, yo. It's that Scott Steiner math. 7 games, you need to win 4. So however you get, you make it happen. Make it happen. Whether it's with Wemby or without, I think the guys are more incapable of it. They just have to work on those fundamentals, Jeff. Those free throws have been an issue. I don't know why it's surprising a lot of us fans when just because it happened in the postseason. How many times did we crash out because we've had, 8 or 9 missed free throws from one said player? It's ridiculous at this point. Yeah, they need to get that in lock.
Yeah, and let's not forget too, physicality. The Spurs lacked it in the fourth quarter. I mean, Scoot was just eating their lunch for that game. You saw Kling and another Williams just bodying everybody in that game too. Now, Denny Advia after Game 2 did say that. Yeah, I hope Wemby's healthy. He's got to say that. But he did say, he goes, we vow, like whether he's on that court or not, or when he gets back, we're still gonna give him the business. So they're up for the physicality. Thiago Splitter even said, look, the moment they go small in Game 3, again, he's working with the premise that Wemby's not going to play tonight in Game 3, that we're just going to go big and just pummel him. But Vassell and Keldon Johnson did say that, they're going to step up their physicality, especially Vassell. He said that he's going to, the team, not him, but the team is going to really keep Scoot in check for Game 3. We shall see. So they can do all this they want, but you got to see it on the court tonight. But
so their biggest surprise is they think they're going to get an MVP level showing of Scoot every game. Bro, this is the equivalent of Linsanity. He had one good game. The team was caught off balance with an injury. they came in, being that you and I are nerds per se, right? This is the equivalent of the Rocky 3 build-ups. The first match was Clubber Lang. They were out here waving the shirts, celebrating DPOI, coming in like, oh, we're about to dog walk these fools. And what happens? Wemby goes down, they get punched in the face, and now they have a reality check. But just like Rocky 3, they're gonna come back stronger than ever, and they're gonna get this. They're gonna get this series, and hopefully we won't deal with any more injuries on the long run.
Hey, real quick before we go to our next topic here, let's just pretend that tonight they lose and the Spurs are down 1-2. Are you still okay? Are you gonna hit the panic button?
No.
Okay.
Once we get down 3, if that's ever the case, then you'll see me kind of,
Okay. Just I want to make sure I heard you correctly.
Yeah. No, I'm not gonna freak out like some of these Spurs.
Don't say we didn't warn you, everybody. He's gonna instigate like he's doing it right
Spurs,
now.
I said Spurs how I really feel, follow me on X.
Wow, so Spurs fans, there's at least not all of them. I should be very clear, not all of them, but some of them are jumping over the ledge already, even though it's 1-1. Wow, that's crazy. Hey, you know what? Let's take a little quick break. When we get back, we're going to continue this fan episode with Sith Elias. See him on your screen right now. Make sure to follow him on X at @LSith_V2. Yeah, good luck if you do follow him. All right, let's take a quick break. When we get back, let's continue talking about the pulse of the fan base, Spurs Blazers.
As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
Sith, I gotta ask you a question. We just saw Starscream right now. Why is he always going at the mouth? He's not the leader. He's always trying to punk Megatron. And there he is, once again, up to his old antics. Let me ask you this. If you're a Megatron and you had a fool like that on your crew that's always trying to stab you behind the back, you taking care of business?
Man, for sure. You can't have someone, hyping up the opposition while making it look weak. It just doesn't work that way. It's kind of the same way that Dame Lillard's running his mouth from the sidelines. He's not out there.
Exactly.
Blazers need to nip it in the bud before it comes back and bites them in the behind. You can't have someone who's not on the court talking just like this dude talks to Megatron.
By the way, that was a guest pick right there. Sith had 2 options. That one you just saw right now was Starscream and something else. And when I showed him the Starscream, he goes, "No, I want to go with that one."
Yeah.
So he picked that one. You are watching Spurs in Focus, a fan episode right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer in San Antonio. That gentleman you see on your screen, he is repping the fan base today, giving us his opinion, the fan base, or the pulse of the fan base. He is Sith Elias on X. You see him on your screen right now. It's LSith_V2. Give him a follow if you dare. We're talking about Spurs, Blazers, and what are the fans thinking about it? All right, let's continue this chat here. So, man, I thought pitchforks and flames and the mob was going to go hunting De'Aaron Fox because a lot of Spurs fans had issues with him after game 2. Now, for the game, he has 17 points. In the fourth quarter, he was actually a +6 for the Spurs, but he didn't shoot the ball well. He didn't take over the game as many fans expected him to do once Wemby went out. I want to say he laid an egg, but it was very, very, very close to it. Are fans putting Fox on the hot seat tonight? Do you think fans need to see him drop a 25 or more point outing, or no, that as long as the team just wins, it doesn't matter? How hot is that seat for De'Aaron Fox with the fan base?
Well, it goes back to what you and I spoke about, Jeff. There's 2 sides of Twitter. Ones that have been around since the first championship run, and those that are just joining the fray, right? So for some reason, De'Aaron Fox gets targeted because of the contract he has. Like you said, he contributed 17 points. That's not exactly bad compared to what the others given us, right? You have Stephon Castle, who's personally my favorite player on the team.
Yeah.
Hyped up and not contributing offensively. So De'Aaron Fox has become a lot of the younger Spurs' scapegoat. I think it has to do because of his playoff run with the Kings and whatnot, but I don't think he's deserving of all the hate, honestly. Like I said, strategies had to switch up once Wemby went down. We all know they play through him. He's not even the main point guard at times. He starts off the game with the ball. Then we see Carter Bryant, we see Steph Castle moving the ball up instead of instead of the Aaron Fox.
Mhm.
So I just think the blame gets placed on him because he's the newer character, the newer veteran, I guess we can say.
So I'm hearing from your tone, it seems like you, on a personal level, we're okay with Fox's game in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the losses contributed to one player, whether it's Wemby being hurt, whether it's Fox. He did what he did. But the missed free throws as a whole is to me what did it. And if I can say it, the one-sided officiating.
Mm-hmm.
The Devin Booker spoke out on it.
Oh yeah.
After Wednesday's game, he even compared it to, WWE. That you can tell it's scripted. So yeah, I think the odds were against our players, and that's just what it is. I'm not being unrealistic. If you go back, check the tape, look at the foul calls the Blazers were getting compared to what we were getting. And you know what? It's not just Fox that's getting attacked. A lot of people are questioning Mitch Johnson's leadership. Mm-hmm. They're saying, "Oh, you should be able to dig yourself out of a hole," being that you switched this team around, or you claim to, which he's never really said it, but Twitter likes to add words into people's mouths. They say you have an opposing rookie coach, interim coach, same position you were in Thiago Splitter, and yet he's out coaching you, which isn't fact, man. If he out coached them, they wouldn't have dropped to a 14 point deficit after Wembanyama went down. Like I said, it was just bad fundamentals, and honestly, the officiating wasn't exactly fair.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think Mitch Johnson did his job. De'Aaron Fox stepped up offensively, and the other fellas just need to follow suit. Because going 4-minute stretches without scoring in any capacity, whether it's junior high, high school, whatever division of basketball, you can't go 4 or 5 minutes without scoring, especially in the postseason. That's just ridiculous. Like I said, it's fundamentals, man.
Yeah. I the streets say that you never went cold from the field when you played ball. Is that true?
Yeah, we all know. Like I tell everyone, I was one concussion away from joining the NBA. They deemed me too much of a liability, but we all know I was getting quadruple doubles on the regular. Yeah. Those preschoolers never stood a chance. Granted, I was in high school, so.
Preschoolers. By the way, kudos on the height increase you had recently, man. You had a growth spurt, so maybe you do still have NBA teams. Man, you really had a growth spurt so late in your life, though.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people are saying that I body swapped with Wembanyama, but they just haven't met me yet. Like right now, I look 125 pounds heavier, but it's just camera angles. You see me ready for the court. That's how it is, Jeff.
Yeah. If you're interested in what we're talking about, go follow him on X at @LSith_V2 right now and see just how amazing that this guy had a growth spurt just like that overnight. Go check it out right now. We're getting the pulse of the fan base right here on Spurs in Focus with a fan episode. Again, if you're new to this, we pick one fan, in this case, Sith, and he gives us his personal thought as a fan, and then the fan base's thoughts on several topics. And obviously, we're talking about the playoffs right now. So going back to Fox really quick, I said on yesterday's show that I do want him to step up his game. A lot of the guys said, "Oh, next man up after Wemby went down." I get that. I understand that's what they got to say. But, man, your next man up is called De'Aaron Fox, and he is supposed to be the co-star now. Step up your game. I do want to see him drop at least 25 or more tonight in Portland. We'll see if he'll do that. And for me, it has nothing to do with the contract. For me, it's just he was labeled that. You were the guy. This is why we traded for you.
Well, what do they call him? The most unclutch Mr. Clutch ever.
Well, I never heard that one.
That's ridiculous, man. They were cooking him, and I'm not gonna lie, I got a couple chuckles out of him.
Well, you kind of already answered this to start the show. When I asked you if fans think that the team can survive without Vic, you said it's kind of 50-50-ish. There's some that, they can. There's some like, oh my God, the sky is falling. And you did answer this already. Even if they lose game 3 tonight, you're still okay. So throw a little curveball here because again, we have it on our rundown and Seth already took care of that for us. But is there somebody on the squad right now? Well, we won't use Fox because we already put him on the hot seat right now. But is there somebody else in the squad that you think needs to be playing better? Who would that be? And does the fan base agree with you?
Man, it has to be Steph Castle. Mm-hmm. He He's been good for facilitating the ball. His assist numbers are up. His rebounding's kind of on a decline. But man, his shot selection and the way he's been shooting, Jeff, it's atrocious, man. Might as well have, all jokes aside, might as well have me out there trying to score against an NBA team. He's more than capable. He's had more triple doubles than Wemby this season. He's an offensive phenom when he chooses to be, but he's been, I don't know, I don't want to say the lights are too bright for him, but something's not happening in between his ears, man.
You think Scoot got to him in that game too? Because Scoot gave him business though.
Man, Scoot was in his ear, chattering him up, and some people just mentally they're not that. He gave him a little bump back, he yelled back in Scoot's ear, but Scoot continued to score, continued to show off for his team, while Castle started to play frustrated and recluse. I don't know, man. Something's going on with Steph, and I hope he gets it in check. I hope he knows he doesn't need to be the second player, the second best player on the team. He just needs to be part of a winning squad. He needs to contribute his part. Other than that, Dylan Harper, I could honestly say, is playing with more heart, and he's doing it with a hurt thumb. So yeah, for me, Castle's on the hot seat this post series.
Yeah, for me, and I'll put his picture on the screen right now, that I need to see a little bit more out of him, especially going into tonight's game, is this guy, the sixth man of the year.
Sixth man of the year.
Yeah, I need to see a little bit more production out of him. Kind of single digit scoring off the bench, minimal minutes if you look at the box scores. But I'd love to see him really take his game up a little higher in tonight's game 3. I understand, rotations get tighter, but he's part of that rotation. He is their sixth man, and I need to see a little bit more out of Keldon Johnson. So we'll see if that happens. So for me, that's the guy I'm looking at to raise the next level of his game in the postseason. But this is a new thing for most of these guys on the roster, and we're seeing them kind of learn on the fly right now. Vassell's talking about, hey, we let Scoot run wild on us. We can't let that happen again.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. And even Mitch Johnson, they're probably learning some lessons right now. I know a lot of Spurs fans kind of cook him for not taking the blame, but or at least taking responsibility for certain things. But he did. If you go back and watch that press conference after the loss to Portland in game 2, he did say that some of it was on him. So Spurs fans sometimes got to go back and just watch the tape, as they say. But overall, your thoughts, you're feeling good about Spurs taking care of business, whether it's in 5-6 games and moving on?
Yeah, no, instead of winning in 5, I got us winning in 6, and I'm sticking with that. We're still winning the series. I want to go ahead and put you on the hot seat real quick. Jeff,
let's go for it.
So we have a set player in our starting lineup who's become a complete non-contributor. Oh man, I love them during the season. But what are your thoughts on Julian Champagnie's?
Yeah. I've been a little surprised that he hasn't been connected on his 3 shots. I really felt for the most part of this season, he was pretty consistent from 3. I think he had, remember during the season that collectively the team had that low offensively where they just couldn't get anything going, and they snapped out of it, and he was a big reason for it. I don't know if he's this is his first time in the playoffs, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know if the bright lights are getting him, but I do believe that he should also be on the hot seat. Champagnie needs to spread that floor, especially with Wemby out there. We know what he can do when it feels like if Champagnie's hitting his 3s, Sith, the team is cooking. The Spurs are cooking. They're cooking and they're taking care of business. But so far we haven't seen that. Let me look at his stats here.
Yeah, check them out if you haven't, man. I'm telling you, I did my own research before hopping on, and Julian Champagnie, just from what I visualized as well, his play has been a letdown in my opinion. Yeah. If he's not going to contribute offensively, then why not go ahead and bench him or have him play off the bench, and we'll give an opportunity to, like let's set Carter Bryant out there. He might not contribute the way Champagnie can offensively, but we could always use another hit bull out there on D. So if I'm Coach Mitch, I'm contemplating benching Champagnie or having him come off the bench and giving one of the youngins a start. Or hell, throw Keldon Johnson back in the mix,
Right. Yeah. Well, through 2 games, again, just 2 games, everybody, he's a minus 0.5 on the court. He's averaging about 7.5 points per game, I like the rebounds. He's giving you close to 4.5, so that's good. And he really hasn't taken that many 3-point attempts. He's only taken 3 so far in this 2-game series so far versus Portland. He's connected on both of them, but I need to see that volume go up a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's doing a little bit of everything. He has 2 steals total. So that's 1 steal each game, I guess. But I see what's going on. He's getting in foul trouble. He's averaging nearly 4 fouls a game so far, the first 2. So I think that's probably what's throwing him off right now. He 3.5 foul average, 3.5.
That's not great. Series. That's not good when you're a starter, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So he needs to clean it up a bit. But there you have it. Sith feels the Spurs are going to advance and take on the next opponent. Man, go Minnesota. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Go Denver, because I don't. Of the 2, man, I don't want to see Denver. No.
At this rate, I'd rather have Denver than Minnesota. Because the thing is, Denver, they've been beating us from the inside. Jamal Murray, Gordon, Joker, they all play within the perimeter. But man, our biggest gripe has always been the perimeter shooting, and that's what Minnesota specializes in, and the pace in which they play. But we'll break that down next year.
Yeah, exactly.
We know the boys are advancing. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Although I wouldn't mind seeing Ant versus Wemby, because remember during the regular season, I had talked to Ant in the Minnesota locker room, and he had told me that he's going to try to get one on Wemby, and that's why I asked Wemby about it. I go, hey, I just spoke to Ant, and Ant said he's going to get you. He goes, okay, go for it. It's kind of like that. So I'd love to see that matchup if it happens. Hey, Sith, you want to get a little nerdy with me?
Man, I'm always down for some nerd talk, brother.
All right, it's that fun time here on Spurs in Focus where we have a nerd moment with our guests. And seriously, we've ran the spectrum. Sith, we've had a guest here who was not a nerd in the classical sense like you and me, like, He-Man or Star Wars or whatever. He was more of a nerd into science fiction books. So we thought that was kind of cool.
Oh, okay.
And then we got into some nerd stuff, the traditional nerd stuff. So it's kind of like, whatever you like, we're going to just roll with it. And, I talked about this with Sith before we recorded. I said, hey, what do you want to talk about? And so he was kind of thinking about it. I said, hey, why don't we give out some of the more nerd movies that are coming out soon? Right now, I don't know what's with 2026, man. It is the year of the nerd, whether it's TV or movies. I mean, you have Invincible, The Boys, Daredevil. This is just on TV. For me, I don't know if y'all are into this movie, but Paradise on Hulu. That's a great science fiction series. The list goes on and on and on. You even talk about Maul. Maul is just chef's kiss. That's just on the small screen. In the big screen, you have Masters of the Universe coming out, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat,
Grogu and the Mandalorian, Clayface. You name it, they have it.
Yeah, you name it, they have it. So this is the 2026 is for a nerd is just awesome. But so I asked Sith, okay, well, what movies, so big theater, big screen, are you looking forward to? So your candidates were Masters of the Universe, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Mando and Grogu, and Clayface, but you threw a curveball in it. What's the movie you're looking forward to?
Man, Acme versus Coyote.
Yes. Good.
As you all know, it got shelved a couple years back over tax purposes, and I'm glad they finally released it out to the public. So basically, the premise is we're all familiar with Coyote trying to get that Roadrunner, and he always has like the
Acme,
the Acme products, the dynamites land on him, the refrigerators, just everything go wrong. Well, he decided that he found a lawyer who specializes in Acme suits. So we're gonna have cameos from Tweety Bird, Sylvester, Bugs Bunny. Yeah, bro. Yeah. It's gonna be great. They're bringing back that feel of I want to say Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yep. And you know what? I hope it follows the blueprint of this other cartoon / real live action movie that I thought was phenomenal and doesn't get enough credit. It was the Chippendales movie. That movie is hilarious and it is well put together. The live action blending with the cartoon. I mean, remember they brought in Ugly Sonic?
Yeah.
Brought in Ugly Sonic and
he was a fan at account on the Comic-Con.
Yeah, he was at a Comic-Con and he was acting like he was still smooth and he didn't understand why they had the close up of the teeth. They everything. It was just a great live action cartoon movie, and I hope this follows that same pattern. Again, if you haven't seen that Chippendales movie, go see it. It is really good. For me, this is tough, man. I have number one as of now is still Masters of the Universe. I think that was going to be really good, but my God, Clayface just rocketed up my anticipation meter, man. If it sticks to the horror vibe, this could possibly be one of the greatest DC movies that we've seen.
Yeah, for sure.
You like the fact that, by the way, and this is going to be rated R. So
perfect. So the kills and all that have to be on par with the comic books. DC that hasn't always been kid friendly, especially the Clayface novels. The story that they're biting off, oh man, brutal. I'm looking forward. Like I said, they kind of teased it. The sand mace.
Yeah.
Dropped on someone. Yeah, the clay mace. I hope they make it happen. I hope this gets more love than the first Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Jeff, I love the way they've been sending these films out where you don't necessarily need Batman in the mix.
Yeah.
So, I said, if the writing and all that's done well, then Clayface will be a box office hit. Yeah, and who knows, being that James Gunn's the one directing it, it might tie into a future Batman flick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And Sith, you told me about this. Batman will not appear in Clayface.
Yeah, that's what I had read.
Yeah, for those of y'all who don't know, again, Clayface is one of Batman's villains, but this is the first time we're going to get a horror-based comic book movie. I can't think of a horror-based movie in the past, based off a comic book or a graphic novel, but I mean, not either way, this has the potential to be one of the greatest DC movies if they stick to the tone, the vibe, the darkness, the brutality. I mean, if y'all haven't seen the trailer, they literally show Matt Hagen, who becomes Clayface, getting just his face sliced in half.
Yeah.
So, and then, of course, the bandages around him, he looked just like he was just messed up.
I think Sony tried it with Morbius. It didn't work out. Yeah, I have more faith in James Gunn. You look at what he's done for the Suicide Squad and whatnot. Peacemaker. So, it's in good hands. I want to get your takes. You're excited for Master of the Universe, but bro, what they do with Skeletor's voice.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. And I didn't have an issue with it. I liked it. I like how Jared Leto brought more of a demonic, more of a sinister vibe, because you go in the cartoons, obviously he's like kind of a knucklehead, that hypes.
He's very flamboyant and
yeah, although I hope they mix in some of the put downs that he's known for.
Yeah, he was one of the best roast kings growing up, bro.
Yeah. My favorite one that OG Skeletor did back in the 80s was he had that guy, one of his henchmen, he's called Whiplash. And Whiplash comes, he fails a mission and everything. And Skeletor just looks at him because I know. He goes, you know what? He goes, they should call you Wimplash.
That's some junior high level bullying, bro. I love it. So I hope they keep with that tone when it comes to Skeletor. Yeah. But no, like you said, this is the year of the nerd, and I'm looking forward to all these releases. I'm gonna show my hater side. Grogu and Mando should have been a Disney Plus exclusive.
You know what?
They haven't bought me over.
I'm kind of with you because I'm watching the trailers and okay, they're fine. They tap into my Star Wars love, but I'm like, what are we doing here? That's what I feel like. That's why I'm like, what are we doing?
What makes it a standalone film? Yes, why could it just? We've already seen the rescue. The first episode of The Mandalorian was them trying to rescue Grogu at that.
Yeah.
We've seen the bounty hunters conflicts as well in season 2. So what's really different? Oh, just that they're trying to glorify another creature. So now we have that buff little
the buff dude.
Yeah, I remember him from the Clone Wars series. I liked him then. I think his story should have ended there, but it's more for the kids. It's all for selling products, and you can't go wrong with Star Wars unless it's something to do with Rey Skywalker, your favorite Star Wars character of all time.
Let's not go there. I can cuss now, and I don't want to, but nevertheless,
don't do that.
Yeah, I did it yesterday in the show. I dropped an S-bomb because Rudy got me all hyped up, man. He got me all. I almost touched my gut.
He tends to do that, bro.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't give a bleep about Portland. He made me say it. But going back to the Commander Grogu and the buff Jabba or the buff worm, I guess the Jabba, the hut. Thank you.
The huts, yeah.
That buff hut reminded me of you, dude.
Oh hell yeah, bro. Just don't meet me out of social media because I'll let you down. You'll see me. You'll think I'm the buff hut. Then you'll be like, oh, he's more of a Jabba. But either way, don't play with me. Don't call me Jabba the Hutt in person.
And you know what? I always, when you're a kid, you ask, like, oh, who are you playing when you're playing with the toys? You're like, oh, I'm Luke Skywalker. Oh, I'm Han Solo. Oh, I'm Darth Vader. And all these cool characters, right? But you ever stop back and wonder, like, why didn't you want to be Jabba? You got to lay around all day. You're rich as bleep. You have
women
powers. You have women. You have your own hench crew. You got your crew. You got a freaking palace. You have a yacht, a big, massive yacht. Oh, by the way, your pet is a monster. And guess what? You have all that. You don't have to work out. You're good. You're good. You got to smoke a pipe all day. You got to eat all day. Oh,
man, I wouldn't even bug out had Jabba remained. You remember from the original series, Jabba was actually human. Yeah, so maybe if they had left him a human, I wouldn't mind cosplaying as them. But there ain't no way in hell you're gonna compare me to a big ass worm.
Hey, you know what though? Cosplaying as the human actor of Jabba before they went to the worm, that would be a low key good cosplay for a con. That would be a good one. That would be just very creative, very imaginative, you took a deep dive to get your Yeah. You took a deep dive there. Man, this fan episode went off the rails here, this nerd episode. But all right, let's get back on track here. Okay, so hey, what are y'all thoughts, everybody? If you're a Spurs fan, and we know you are, do you agree with Sith when it comes to the Spurs Blazers series? He's feeling confident, even if they lose tonight in Portland. He's like, yeah, no, we got this. We'll still advance. What do you think about his take on De'Aaron Fox? In other words, he doesn't think he should be in the hot seat that collectively the team should be, and so much more. Let him know what you think on X at, you see it on your screen, @Sith_V2. Do that right now. And again, man, hey, Sith, we warned them, right, about following you. We warned them,
man. So. If they want to smoke, your fans aren't always happy with the way I represent the fandom. But hey, I'm not here to cherry pick. I'm not here for y'all to. I'm not gonna fake it for y'all to like me. We all roll for the same team. I judge them differently than y'all, but I'm just happy to have this opportunity to represent y'all on this show.
Sith, as always, we thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you got work, you're a family man, all that stuff, but we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. And we'll see you soon, especially if the Spurs win the Spurs.
Win the Spurs.
There you go. Everybody else, we thank y'all for making Spurs in Focus your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. This is going to be your first listen, your first watch every single day. Come here to Spurs in Focus. Remember, I said that Sith is picking up the bill if you go subscribe to Spurs in Focus Substack.
What?
Yeah. Deplete his bank account. Every time you press subscribe, the bill goes directly to him. Yeah.
You know what? Come on down. Go ahead. Charge it up. Make sure you subscribe to the Substack.
Yeah. Charge it up right now. Show some love. It's pennies. It's pennies for Sith. So get those subscriptions going up higher on the Substack. And of course, here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Sith, I found that YouTube Music actually hosts podcasts. I found that out.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
get Amazon Pod either, bro.
There you go. Amazon Podcast and of course Pocket Cast. The list goes on and on. Go subscribe right now. We might have a special treat for you later on tonight. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Right here on Spurs in Focus. And we know everybody's gonna be up late. That's it, because this game starts at 9:30 tonight. Jesus.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be up, drinking coffee and everything. So if you're still up, you might want to come back here to Spurs in Focus. Again, wink, wink, hint, hint. And, stay tuned for that. We'll be back, if not on Monday for sure, with a new episode. And hopefully the Spurs are a little ahead in that series, as Mr. Sith expects them to be. So for Sith Elias, I am Jeff Garcia, and now you're in Focus with Spurs in Focus.